Key to bone health in menopause, and it has nothing to do with the drop in hormones. I was talking with a client yesterday, and she was saying how one of her big concerns is bone fractures and osteoporosis and teeth health as she's going through menopause. And I realized I need to do a video on this because it has everything to do with how iron moves. So first of all, what triggers menopause? It is when we accumulate too much iron in our ovaries, and that we accumulate iron as we age, but we are in this battle where we keep popping iron thinking that our bodies aren't absorbing it, and it is. It's just not getting to the blood, and that's an issue. So if you are new here, you haven't heard me talk about how iron moves, I highly recommend going into some of my other videos because I'm not breaking that down right now. So usually the narrative is that our estrogen drops, and that's an issue, and then that leads to issues with bone health. But if we already have iron that's dysregulated and iron that's not moving, then that's when we're going to see more issues pop up with osteoporosis and all these different things with bone density issues. Our bones are constantly changing. They are constantly remineralizing. And if you're worried about taking more calcium or more vitamin D in order to help that change happen positively, then we are interrupting how iron moves. Number one, things need to occur naturally together. So when we are taking I'm going to say synthetic form of vitamin D, because it's actually, one, it's a hormone, and it needs to come from a whole food source. So when we consume foods that are rich in animal products, because vitamin A in the form of retinol is going to have vitamin D naturally occurring, like for example, beef liver, cod liver oil, if you're having lard or tallow, all of those good things have vitamin D naturally occurring in them. And that's because those two are meant to be paired together. They are not meant to be separated, and they are not meant for us to take synthetic forms of vitamin A or the vitamin D on its own, because our receptor sites require them together. This leads to decreased bone density, which is why we are going to see more fractures, more issues with our teeth, all of these different issues that begin to pop up, and it's because we need to move iron. We have to focus on iron's movement, especially when we hit menopause, because our body's natural way to regulate iron, which is one of the reasons that women live longer than men, is because we have our menstrual cycle, has now stopped because our ovaries have too much iron in them. So now the movement of iron becomes even more critical, because if not, there are going to be pesky little things that will begin to pop up because we haven't focused on what our minerals need in order to properly regulate our enzymes. So what do our bones need to regenerate? Well, if we're focusing on iron's movement, cod liver oil, beef liver, magnesium, those are all really important steps. Another really important issue to address in menopause is the adrenal glands, because they are going to have to work double time, and if they are struggling already from having too much iron or they have been overworked, then we are going to see them kind of be a little bit sluggish, and we don't want that. So yes, while estrogen does drop, we need to ask ourselves, why is this happening? Why is there a drop in estrogen? And maybe there is estrogen that is just not bioavailable. I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. But what I do know is that if our menstrual cycle stops, and it does, we are going to have too much iron, and that means that we need to focus on its movement, because when we aren't focusing on its movement, our bodies aren't able to regenerate our bones like they were before. If you're struggling with menopause or you're wanting to prepare your body as you go through it, then iron's movement is step numero uno. So looking at those 4 supplements that I love are a great place to start. You're also going to want to make sure that you aren't exposing yourself to more iron. And there's a reason why I don't like multivitamins or things like that. But those 4 supplements are really key places to start, and I have a link in my bio for a free ebook that goes over each supplement, the brands that I like, and the reasons for them.